Hello, hello, hello. Another week with In Lieu of Murder. This is the part two for Diddy. Now we're going to go through the timeline and stuff. This is your host, Ainoa.
And this is Amanda. And as she said, we're going to be going through the timeline. It's going to be super fast, but we're going to tell you all of his charges as he actually did them. So, woo, woo, let's get ready, y'all.
I hope you guys appreciated Amanda's concerto. She just delighted you guys with a air piano concert.
So, the fun part about that is they can never see me. So, I know it's making it up.
Mm.
Um, I have no idea what she's talking about, guys. We're going to get it looked into for her. So,
Okay.
P. Diddy, y'all. So we gave y'all kind of a very minor inside scoop to our dig on the whole P. Diddy situation. And with that, we created this really not knowing what all we were going to come up with. I did grow up in the era of P. Diddy, along with Inoa. I was not a big P. Diddy fan, though.
Me neither.
Now I was in like hip hop, but I was into like Wu-Tang and Bone Thugs and Harmony and Tupac, and I was not a big P Diddy and that side. Like I wasn't into Mace. I actually one of the current arguments I have with my partner, is whenever he plays Mace songs. I'm like, he's like the slowest rapper in the world. Why are we listening to this? And I just was never a fan of that side of things. So I didn't know a lot of this information until now. Um, so now let me just start by saying our timeline starts in 1990, which would have
Ooh,
made me only 5 years old. So yeah, I definitely didn't know much about P Diddy then.
five. So
Oh man, I just
I
told
was
people my
4.
age, and you
Yeah,
just
you
told
did.
people yours.
Not a day over 27.
Well, and I don't care what anyone says, so if anyone calls out my age publicly, you'll be blocked. So let
Blocked.
me just start by saying this is gonna seem like it goes a lot faster than it actually does. But 1990 is when Combs started in the music industry. But he literally started his career as an intern at Uptown Records, working under Andre Harrell. Um, so he was just an intern. All right. 1991. According to the November 2023 lawsuit, Combs and R&B singer Aaron Hall allegedly sexually assaulted an unnamed victim of a friend after a music industry event, then
Hmm.
beat her several days later
Several
when
days later?
when she confronted them about it. Now, this
Wow.
lawsuit was filed November of 2023.
That
Um,
long?
so she was able to file this lawsuit, I guess, because of the physical part afterwards in November of 2023. And she didn't file like in courts for sexual assault. She filed a civil lawsuit against him.
Oh, okay.
Also in November of 2023, Joy Dickerson, a 19-year-old, filed another lawsuit against Combs,
Hmm.
allegedly stating that drugs and sexual assaults and videotapes had happened after going on a date with Combs.
Wow, okay.
So that's just the year after he started in the industry is when these allegations start.
Started. So, how come, like, all the, like, civil lawsuits and stuff, come in, it seems like at the same time. Is there like, you know how on Facebook you're scrolling down Facebook and then it'll be some ad saying if you've been, if you've taken ibuprofen
If
from
you or a loved one have attended a Diddy party in the last 25 years,
yes.
you may be entitled to compensation. No, so and you know what? I actually learned a lot about this, and I don't wanna go out there and be like, "Oh, I learned this from such and such." I learned this from Law& and Order SVU, and then I researched the information. But on
Okay.
one of those episodes, the character that plays Benson had said that typically people that have been sexually assaulted or something like that are embarrassed or don't wanna talk about it until
Mhm.
they find out that it too happened to somebody else, because a lot of victims spend most of the time assuming that what happened to them was their own fault.
Yep.
So if
Mm,
this girl showed up in a mini skirt and a halter top and then those things happened to her, she may have blamed herself for the last 20, 30 years until she realized that it happened to 30 other people and that she wasn't the problem.
not only that, but we have was the 90s, right? So, like, the 90s is nothing like today. The 90s slut shamed women like there was no tomorrow.
Yep.
Like, it today, women have more rights. Well, not more rights, but they have more freedom to wear what they want, say what they want without, feeling like a slut. But back then, mm,
Yeah, and these days women stand behind each other where we used to criticize each other. You
yeah,
know, and that's I will tell you that that's one of the things I'm proudest of in the time that I've been around is that women have found a way to more come together than they used to, because it was not like that, especially in the 90s. You know, in the 90s, if you even lost your virginity, all of a sudden you were the school slut.
yeah.
But nobody talked about the fact that everybody else had. It's just because everyone found out you had, you know? So then he keeps his nose kind of under the radar
Hmm.
for a couple of years. Um, but in 1993, Combs was fired from his duties at Uptown Records.
Oh, really?
That's when he started his own label after he had been fired, and that's when he created Bad Boy Records. So, that's where and with Bad Boy Records, that's where, like, Notorious B.I.G., Mace, Faith Evans, The Lox, Craig Mack, and I'm saying some of these names, and I don't even know who they are. Of course, I know the bigger names like Biggie, Mace, Faith Evans, but I don't even know who Craig Mack or The Lox are, and I probably should. I probably have heard some songs, but I'm not really sure who they are. But we jump again to June of 1995. And according to an October 2024 lawsuit, so a lawsuit filed last month, Combs sexually assaulted an unnamed victim in the bathroom during a New York City promo party for Biggie's music video, One More Chance. During this alleged attack, Combs cornered her in a bathroom, began kissing her aggressively, and when she tried to pull away, he struck her, slammed her to the floor, and raped her.
Whoa.
After this assault, before leaving the bathroom, Combs reportedly told the victim, "You better not tell anyone about this, or I promise you will disappear." This current lawsuit has not been settled. It has not gone to court. It was just filed.
And it is a civil lawsuit as well. So, I mean, because
Yeah, these are all civil lawsuits because it's beyond the statute of limitations. And so we know it doesn't stop there, because what else happens in 1995? According to a May 2024 lawsuit, Combs allegedly sexually assaulted April Lampros on several occasions. In one incident, she alleged he forced her to perform oral sex in a car, which was witnessed by a parking lot attendant. She
mm,
claims that he forced ecstasy down her throat, made her have sex with him and his then girlfriend, Kim Porter, and then he raped her again. And for those of you that have ever followed April Lampos, I have. Um, she doesn't really come across as a makeup, a story kind of person. That woman has been through a lot. And this kind of explains some things in my opinion. Um,
Mhm.
1996, Combs is found guilty of criminal mischief for threatening a photographer from the New York Post with a gun. Now, that actually happened in 1996 and was addressed in 1996. So, 1998 is when Combs starts throwing the annual Hampton all-white parties. And all
Mhm.
white does not mean white people, guys. It means you wear white to the party.
I mean, I've seen some pictures. I'm not gonna lie, of course, I'm pretty sure that they were like fun parties to go to. She looks uncomfortable as fuck, man. I'm sorry, but
I know.
that woman, she looks like she don't want to be there.
I was just gonna point out back here we got Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yep, it's
But these are just random people that came to his all-white parties.
that's J Lo over there in the corner. That's Aaliyah, no?
Yep.
And I can't too pixelated to tell who are the
Who
other
these
three.
people I can't really tell either. But yeah, these are when his all-white parties started. Um, so and for those of you that don't know, I know and I fought because all of a sudden our pictures turned into circles at the beginning of our recording and we couldn't figure out why. And we fixed them and I just broke it somehow by there we go by showing that so that's why we just randomly laughed. Okay. So that's when these infamous all white parties started. And a lot of people referred to these parties as the modern day Gatsby. Like they were the best parties, the had to be there type
Mhm.
parties that started in 1998. Now, according to an October 2024 lawsuit, Combs assaulted a John Doe victim when he was 16 years old and attending one of Combs' white parties in the Hamptons. The unnamed victim claims that after having a conversation with Combs about working in the record industry, Combs instructed him to drop his pants and expose his penis so that Combs could inspect it, explaining it was a rite of passage to the route to becoming a star and the only way to prove himself.
A rite of passage.
When that person complained to Diddy that that was ridiculous, Combs allegedly grabbed his genitals. So that's another lawsuit that was filed last month.
And he's unnamed?
Yes, he is unnamed. They're referring to him as John Doe.
Hmm.
So, and a lot
L
of these won't give us names because if these people want to do settlements or something like that, then and don't want, they have to sign non-disclosures or things like that, then so they'll probably we might not ever get the names. But if anyone actually takes their thing to court and they're not just going to get a settlement out of it, that's when the names will start being dropped. So in 1999, Combs was arrested and charged with two felonies for second degree assault and criminal mischief in the beating of a record executive, Steve Stout, who says Combs and two bodyguards beat him with their fists, a telephone, a champagne bottle, and a chair.
Oh, wow.
When Combs publicly apologized, Stout asked for the charges to be dismissed. Combs reportedly paid $500,000 to Stout to have the assault charge dropped.
That ain't nothing
The assault
for
charge
him.
wasn't necessarily dropped, but it was put down to a lesser charge of harassment, and he was sentenced to 1 day and anger management classes. Let me
I
find out.
swear.
1 day.
Money.
So I can
M
beat the crap out of somebody, and I can get 1 day?
If you got money, yeah, you can. I mean, they
I mean,
say money don't buy happiness, but it sure say
I don't have
like
I don't have a 500,000. What about $5? I mean, I'm in a different economic level, so you think that if I did it and offered somebody
can I get a
$5
discount?
right. I mean, we're on a different tax bracket here, so if I give you $5, that should be the equivalent as if we were rich. And anyways, December 27th, 1999. Combs, along with then girlfriend Jennifer Lopez and rapper Shine, are arrested in relation to a shooting at a club in New York. I actually remember this. Um, Combs is charged for weapons violations, but is ultimately acquitted.
Of course. Money.
So, right, March of 2000, the first season of Making the Band airs on ABC.
Mhm.
And I think that that got transferred to MTV, if I'm remembering correctly.
I think so, yeah.
But the reality TV competition centered around Combs as he searches for new talent to put together a band. It did run for 12 seasons in total, and it became like a staple for MTV at one point. September of 2000. Whew, so he's 10 years into the industry. He's already got what, like 3 or 4 pending civil suits? Well, let's keep going. September 2000, according to an October 2024 lawsuit. As I told everybody, I think I put out the article Tuesday or
Mhm.
yesterday. I'm not, no, it was yesterday, that
Yesterday, I
there are
think.
120 additional charges that have been filed against Diddy. So, according to an October 2024 lawsuit, Combs drugged and raped another unnamed plaintiff with 2 other celebrities when she was 13 years old.
Wow.
According to this suit, the then teenage victim wanted to attend the 2000 Video Music Awards at Radio City Music Hall in New York City, but when she didn't have a ticket to the show, she asked limousine drivers who were waiting outside how she could get into the awards. One of the drivers spoke and claimed to work for Combs, um, and told her that Combs liked younger girls and said that she was the fit Diddy was looking for. The driver invited her to Combs' after party, later drove her to the mansion. She claims that when she arrived, 2 men made her sign a non disclosure agreement informing her that she could not discuss anything that happened at the party. She signed this agreement, wanting to enter the party, and had 1 drink before she began to feel woozy. When Doe tried to lay down in a bedroom, Combs and 2 other unnamed celebrities, unnamed at this moment celebrities, followed her
Mhm.
into the room. And that's when 3 people undressed her, and she was held down by 1 celebrity who vaginally raped her, while Combs and the other celebrity and a female watched.
Wow.
Combs, celebrity A, and celebrity B took turns raping her before she escaped, fleeing the bedroom naked, searching for an exit while the party continued.
That's sad. And that driver should be held complicit.
Oh, I'm pretty sure that he will be held complicit.
Like,
Um, and then 2001, according to that May 2024 lawsuit, Combs attacked April Lampros again in her apartment.
hmm.
2001, September 2024 lawsuit filed by Thalia Graves claims that Combs and his bodyguard Joseph Sherman raped her in the Bad Boys recording studio. She was 25 years at the time and dating a record producer who was then working for Bad Boys. Combs and Sherman allegedly um, took turns violently raping her and slamming her head into a pool table repeatedly. Then she states that she learned for the first time in November of 2023, which is what prompted her to start filing suit, that Combs and Sherman had video recorded themselves raping her and had shown the video to multiple peoples. She believes that although she's unable to locate it, that the recording of her assault was distributed as pornography through Joseph Sherman's pornography company.
Wow. So not only was she assaulted, but then it was recorded and distributed. So like
So
that
everybody has seen it.
so everybody had seen it. That is so shameful. And that shows like such a disregard, like or care, or even they're not even afraid that they may get caught or that there may be consequences to this.
Yeah. So March 26th of 2001, a lawsuit Local TV host Roger Mills sues Combs, accusing him of false imprisonment, destruction of property, intentional infliction of emotional distress, civil conspiracy, in exchange where Combs' entourage roughed him up and destroyed his camera.
Hmm.
Now, I do remember when this went to court, and yeah, as I go on and just look at my notes, a jury had found that in 2004 that that more or less found in Combs's favor. Um,
Okay.
so because they couldn't prove that this happened just because they were trying to destroy the camera. 2003, according to a December 2023 lawsuit, Combs, his former Bad Boy Records president Harvey Pierre, and a third unidentified man gang raped an unnamed 17-year-old victim in a Manhattan recording studio. Oh, it keeps going. Listen, by the end of this, you're gonna. Whew, all I know is where is SVU when you need them? Because this is a serial rapist, and I'm very disappointed in SVU. In fact, I'm calling Benson in the morning.
Listen, I'm pretty sure that they probably did an episode. I don't know if you noticed, but with SV, you would have noticed that they take things that are happening in the actual world and they'll make episodes about it. You know what I mean? So
I thought it was I actually know that about them, but I thought it was really funny that how you said the actual world.
the
Um,
actual yes,
and
because that's
like
the
you
TV world.
specified, not the fake world, not the
No.
world that we all dream of, um, but the actual world.
Yeah. No, yeah, because the TV world is a different world than the actual world that we live in that sucks. The TV world is much better.
All
Just
right,
kidding.
so I I don't think the TV world's much better now that I'm reading all this stuff because
All depends on what you watch.
well, don't watch Diddy.
Oh no, I'm not gonna, but I've fallen in love several times in the TV world and I mean they don't know about it, but
Which is called stalking. Like you're creating charges on yourself during this.
how am I? This is a fictional character that I fall in love with. I'm not gonna stalk them. I'm just gonna dream of them, you know, pretend that I will one day find someone like that. Anyways, oh, we're getting off topic, obviously, like always. And back to the essays.
2003. According to a May 2024 lawsuit, Combs drugged and sexually assaulted the then 22-year-old model Crystal McKinney in his New York City studio, forcing her to perform oral sex. 2004, according to a September 2024 lawsuit filed by singer Dawn Richard. Richard auditioned to be a contestant on Diddy's reality competition. Richard and her bandmates were filmed by MTV camera crews 24 hours a day and were verbally and physically abused by Combs. She alleged she was forced by Combs to rehearse for up to 48 hours straight without breaks or food. She and castmates were constantly berated by Combs. As a result, she experienced extreme weight loss, dehydration, and was later diagnosed with anemia. So it's
What?
not just sexual assault. He's just a really he's like a super powerful narcissist. Like you read about narcissists that get to a certain level in life, and I don't know how Combs got where he's at because I mean, it's just I don't know. Moments like this make me feel like ugly people can make it to an extent. So there's hope for me. I got this. 2004, according to an October 2024 lawsuit, Combs invited an unnamed victim. We're going to call her Jane Doe. She was 19 years old at the time. Her and her friend were invited to this after party, but first asked them to stop by the Manhattan Marriott hotel room. Once in the room, the women were coerced into ingesting alcohol and cocaine and forced to perform oral sex on Combs. According to the suit, Combs said he would have them both killed if they did not comply with his demands. July 6th of 2004.
Can
Combs
I
arrived. Go ahead.
Sorry, before you begin, because I have like you've said about him threatening murder a couple
Mhm.
times. It feels like people knew that he would go through with it if they're actually afraid.
Because everybody knew, and she would never tell the story, she would just tell April Lampros told people that she was deathly afraid of Combs. And there was always, let me say this, because I don't think, no, well, I don't want to say I don't think. I don't know if people remember this. And this might be why, at the age where I was really into music and hip hop, which was probably like 12 to 15, why
Mhm.
I wasn't really a fan of his. But if anyone remembers, there were multiple people that were saying that Combs would mess with females' emotions and he was super controlling and he chose what his girlfriends wore and stuff like that. And that bothered me because as a female, I was like, there is no way that I am going to allow a man not to just tell me what to wear, but to tell me who I'm allowed to be in public. And I had no idea at that point what narcissism was. Um, because I definitely wouldn't have made those statements so boldly because, we all go through a phase where we date a narcissist. However, this is absolutely ridiculous. July 6th of 2004, Combs arrived at his annual Hamptons all-white party in possession of the Declaration of Independence.
The fuck? I'm sorry, what?
Listen, when I was going through and doing all this, I was like, "Okay." Like, I don't know what level you have to be on as a person to get to borrow the Declaration of Independence, but, I mean, if we're gonna let someone steal it, might as well be Combs, right?
Did he just finish watching National Treasure? He's like,
It's one of
"Oh,
those things where it's just like, how do you announce that at your party? Like, "Oh, woo, woo, da, 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 I got the Declaration of Independence." Take it back. You just if you lose that, dude, I mean, we have no proof of our independence.
but wait, was it the real, Declaration of Independence or just like a poster or like a fake? Because there's no way it was the real Declaration of Independence.
It was the real Declaration of Independence.
That's
It
just at a
was
museum, last I checked.
and maybe that's who loaned it to him
You can
because
go to
that party was marked for Combs as a new level of fortune.
hmm.
Yeah.
Well, damn, Amanda, me and you about to go to Washington, DC, and see if
I
we
mean,
can
I'm
check
sure
out
there's
some
some
books.
kinda there's a process, right? Like, I can just apply to borrow it.
Yeah, just
Like,
check it out like a library card.
how cool would your child be if we sent her to school next week with show and tell with the Declaration of Independence?
I know.
Like, "Hey, guys, look what I got." Um, so Combs, 2005 is Combs and singer Cassie. That's when they met for the first time, and Combs expressed interest in wanting to sign her to his label. She was 19 years old at that time. Combs was 37. Um, 2005. According to an October 2024 lawsuit, Combs drugged and raped a 10-year-old boy in a New York City hotel room. According to the complaint, the victim has dreams of becoming a rapper actor after auditioning for Combs in his hotel room. The music and media mogul gave the boy a soda that the plaintiff later believed was laced with GHB and or ecstasy. As the boy began to feel dizzy, Combs then pushed the boy on the hotel room bed, pulled his pants down, and told the 10-year-old to kiss it. Combs forced oral sex on this child. When the child regained consciousness, his pants were undone and his butt and internal area there hurt badly. The boy cried, and Combs told him if he told anyone about the attack, the billionaire would hurt his family badly.
Ew.
Yep.
Ew.
February 2006, Ventura signed, which is Cassie. She signed a 10 album deal with Bad Boy Entertainment. Her debut single, Me and You, was released, and her self entitled album drops the same year. And according to the November 2023 lawsuit that Cassie filed, this was the beginning of the vicious cycle of abuse when it came to Combs and her. Cassie states that Combs, this is the point when Combs started to force her to purchase and take illegal drugs like cocaine, ketamine, and ecstasy on a daily basis. He filmed her as he forced her to participate in sex with multiple male sex workers in multiple cities for his own pleasure and a practice he called freak offs, and that he used to beat her on many occasions in retaliation for her talking to other men, even though she would force her to sleep with other men.
That's fucking sick.
August 2006, Danity Kane released its self-entitled album under Combs' Bad Boy Records, Atlantic Records. It had hit number 1 on the Billboard 200, and according to Don Richards' lawsuit, the damages in the form of unpaid salary for working on this album estimated an additional $1 million per member of Danity Kane. So, August 2006. Gosh, we're nowhere near close to where we should be. All right, August 2006. According to an October 2024 lawsuit, Combs assaulted a male bodyguard who was working at one of the Executive Hamptons white parties. This plaintiff claims that Combs gave him an alcoholic beverage that he later believed was drugged because he immediately felt extremely ill. He alleges that Combs pushed him into a van and sexually assaulted him right after that. In 2009, a July 2024 lawsuit states that dancer Adria English, I don't know if I remember Adria English.
I don't.
But she stated that she was again at another white party, drugged and forced to have sex with him and multiple other people.
At the freak off.
Right. See, these things are just, they go on and on and on. And again, she claims that, there was ecstasy involved that was slipped in her drink. Um, I will say that this dancer, and I actually remember this, had made reference to this back in like 2009. And this was actually happening from 2006 to 2009. But she made reference when she had spoke with a magazine, and the magazine Vibe got in a lot of trouble for publishing that story.
Of
So
course.
Combs went after that story, but now that another lawsuit was filed, and this one was filed in July of this year, it's making Combs look even more guilty.
Because he is.
Um, well,
Allegedly.
actually, yeah, I was gonna actually, so 2007, is when Combs had became an ambassador and stakeholder for Ciroc vodka. I don't know if anyone remembers that, but that's when it started.
I'm sorry. I just giggle a little bit because you said Ciroc uh,
Am I
vodka,
saying
and
it
I thought
wrong?
you were No, no, no. I thought you were
Oh.
gonna say Ciroc Obama, which doesn't make any sense.
No, no, I can see how that would come up. Um,
Okay, Ciroc vodka. Continue.
so March 6, 2007, Gerald, and I can't say his last name. It's like Recknitzer or something like that. But he had alleged that Combs had punched him and pushed his girlfriend and tried to spit on another woman outside of a nightclub at the Hollywood Resort Hotel. In that statement, Combs, his attorney, had said, it's just an opportunist looking to make some money. However, Combs settled that case out of court and paid them off. You know,
Hmm.
since they were just looking for the money anyways. He was just being nice and giving it to him. He wasn't paying it off to drop the lawsuit or nothing.
Nothing. Yeah, no.
Um, so May of 2007, in a complaint to the police, making the band's co-star Lori Ann Gibson allege that he threatened her with a chair. I don't really know what that means. I'm assuming that she was threatened to be hit with a chair.
Right.
Um, because I don't really it's
This is not a chair, but
yeah, don't misbehave or I'll make you sit in the corner.
yeah,
What
I'll
i-
put
what
you in
is
timeout.
what is that on your hand? It's a spider.
It's a spider. I was pretending it was a chair. Continue.
May of 2008, according to an October 2024 lawsuit, Combs assaulted a male associate in the back room of a Macy's flagship Herald Square department store. This plaintiff stated that Combs was there at the time working for Echo Clothing, and the suit claims that Combs was flanked by two large bodyguards when they found the victim in the stockroom, struck him in the back of the head, causing Doe to fall on his hands and knees and then proceed to orally rape the victim. After the assault, Combs also threatened to kill this victim.
What the fuck is wrong with him?
It does not stop. 2008, according to a October 2024 lawsuit, Combs sexually assaulted an unnamed 17-year-old boy over a period of days while the boy was auditioning for MTV's reality competition, Making the Band. After this series of assault, the plaintiff was eliminated from the auditions process. 2009, when Danity Kane disbanded, Richard continued working with Combs by way of a new musical trio he had formed with himself as a rapper. Richard alleges that Combs wielded even more power over her during the time in the trio because the other girls weren't around to back her up. So she claimed that, the other girls of Danity Kane were able to stop and kind of put a halt on some of the things that Combs would do. However, with this new trio, she didn't have all that backup. So, 2010, we're getting up there, y'all. We're only 14 years away from today.
Damn. Okay.
In November 2023 lawsuit, Cassie claims that all aspects of her life were controlled by Combs and his management companies. I believe this. Cassie's the one person that he paid literally within 24 hours of her signing that suit. So it goes on in 2010 where Richard witnesses Combs physically abuse his then girlfriend Cassie, and that's why Cassie was able to file these suits because she had so many witnesses, um, including people like Neo, Usher, people like that had saw this abuse go on for years, which is sick to me.
It is. It really is. But
Now I will say Richard alleges in her lawsuit that when people would try to console like Cassie in times like that,
mhm,
um, Combs would say things like the following: "Don't tell my bitch what she need to be doing. Just make money and shut the fuck up. You could be missing, and you bitches want to die today."
fuck. See, I think the problem is that this P Diddy, Puff Daddy, whatever you want to call him, he had way too much power, and I'm pretty sure he probably had some blackmail on a lot of people, and that's probably why a lot of people didn't fucking speak up. Because he probably had shit on somebody, like on everybody.
Right. Absolutely.
This is ridiculous. I'm so happy that she actually spoke up because she opened this can of worms. You know what I mean? That video that was released and the her lawsuit itself opened the door for so many other women and men. Um
See, and that's, prior to this year, I didn't see that in him.
I didn't see him at all because I don't follow him whatsoever.
No, and when I say didn't see that in him, I'm not saying like I didn't know that he was into men or anything like that because I don't care about stuff like that. Anyone that knows me as a person knows that about me. People are people to me, and that's who I'm always going to be as a person. So that's not what I'm referring to. I'm referring to the controllingness. I'm referring to the abuse. You know, because he had given so much money away and done all these different things, like his white parties were supposed to like, that money was supposed to go towards, different because there's so many celebrities that were invited. It was supposed to go to like different charity events and things like that. So when I find all this out, it just makes me feel like we're in the middle of an election.
Hmm.
And there's just this smoke screen over top of everything that we had learned about P. Diddy up until 2024. But it also makes me feel like a lot of this has been known and hidden from us until now they want him to drop off also. But isn't that how, it kind of works? Like you're great and you're on top until you cross the wrong person and that wrong person takes you down. I don't know who P. Diddy crossed, but I'm glad he did.
That is true. I mean, and I feel like what you're saying with the charities and stuff, a lot of powerful people, they'll hide their like evil misdeeds behind philanthropy. So they'll have a bunch of charities or nonprofits that will like clean up their image. You know what I mean? Um Besides that, I don't know if he pissed somebody off or it was just that that video came out and Cassie came forward. Um
I
and
think
that's
that the video came out after she filed her lawsuit.
after she filed her lawsuit. 'Cause
Um,
that's when he apologized 'cause, originally he hadn't even apologized, but
no,
then
he just paid the money. He just wanted to
yeah.
shut it up. Because he thought that if he just shut Cassie up and that video never leaked, that everything would just be swept under the rug. However, as soon as Cassie came out and other females realized that they could do something about it,
Mhm.
that's when other victims started stepping up. And y'all, we're only at May of 2014, and I'm tired of saying this. But according to an October 2024 lawsuit, a female victim at an after party at his Las Vegas hotel suite during Memorial Day weekend in 2014. Combs had allegedly told her she could only drink from open liquor bottles when she was in the suite. She fell unconscious and he raped her. She woke up the following day. She had lost use of her motor skills and her entire body had felt sore, particularly her genital area. As soon as she woke, she saw Combs in the corner of the room shirtless and yelling loudly with animation at someone over the phone. He was the only person in the room. Um, and it was clear to her that someone else had been in the bed with her.
This makes me
So,
so fucking sick. I'm sorry, but
agreed. March of 2018, according to an October 2024 lawsuit filed in California, a victim named Ashley Parham alleges that Combs and his staff members, including assistant Christina Coram, gang raped her in Pierce's home. The filing states that a few days prior to the assault, Parham had met Pierce in a bar, and Pierce FaceTime Combs in order to impress her. She was then invited to hang out, and she believed the defendant Diddy had something to do with the murder of rapper Tupac Shakur upon hearing this over FaceTime. A few days later, she hung out with them, and multiple members of his entourage anally raped her.
I'm
Not
sorry.
annually, guys. During the time when his entourage was raping her, Combs was in the chair in the corner of the bedroom masturbating.
What a sick fuck.
Okay.
He can't spend okay, he can't spend enough days in jail to make up for all the hurt that he's caused, to be honest with you, if this is True.
And listen, the saddest part about this, in my opinion, is the fact that his family, who was so proud of him,
Mhm.
including his kids, now have to stand behind and see who this man truly is.
Yeah.
Where all you had to do at some point in the last 30 years is say, hey, maybe that's not a good idea. Maybe I shouldn't rape this person. Because and I don't know what drives people to do the things that they do, but dude, if you're a serial rapist, you're a serial rapist. Period. And I can't tell you how important it is to deal with whatever issues you have as a person, but his issues got to go deep cuz this doesn't make any sense to me.
It
Um
it doesn't either, but then you have to okay, so 60s and 70s and early 80s were like the time for serial killers. You don't
mhm.
see as many as you do anymore. I feel like the late 80s and 90s and to early 2000 like 2000s that's where most of the stories of like producers abusing, their power, it would that's where they come out. Like with the whole thing with Nickelodeon, this thing kind of sort of thing was happening, and a bunch of music producers, the same kind of sort of thing was happening. Epstein, just the people in power. I feel like that's the 90s. That's when it started happening. Um, and I feel like it became something that they felt like they could do, like that they had a right to do. It was just what everyone did. So why couldn't they do it too? And then just make everybody shut up with money.
It's just crazy to me, like, cuz it like keeps going. Like, okay, I'm gonna just keep going so we can try to get through the rest of this timeline. October of 2021, according to a lawsuit filed in October of 2024, another unnamed guy went to a party he was invited to by Combs. He arrived there. He took one drink of a drink and passed out. He started to come to a few hours later, but he
Mhm.
felt paralyzed. He couldn't move. During that time, Combs and multiple other men assaulted him through sodomy and other force acts. 2022, according to a September 2024 lawsuit, Diddy allegedly drugged and assaulted another unnamed victim, impregnating her and later trying to force her to get an abortion.
Did she?
Um, I'm going on to read a little bit more about her particular case. Um, and she didn't end up having the abortion, but she was not able to keep the child. So and I mean, so she miscarried. But I'm kind of curious about that. So I'm curious about her, case coming up because from 2022 to July of 2024, um, she was flown out to different states multiple times by Combs, to have sex with different rap moguls. And she said that she was told multiple times, "These are not options. You will do as I say."
Wow.
2022, according to another lawsuit filed in October of 2024, another male victim during a promotional party for Combs' Ciroc vodka drink. This person had a business relationship with
Mhm.
Combs, regarding luxury vehicles and jewelry. They attended the party, and when Combs asked them to have a discussion in his office, the plaintiff thought, "Okay, well, yeah, it's probably about jewelry or something. Of course, let me go talk. I'm about to make some money." Um, and they said that once alone in the office, Combs removed his pants, exposed his genital area, grabbed the plaintiff's genitals, and started rubbing them in a sexual manner. They didn't go on to say if anything happened for that one, though. So, again in 2022, with an October 2024 lawsuit filed, Combs drugged a sexually assaulted unnamed 17-year-old boy. Now, oh, and sorry, I'm going to cut dead in the middle of this to say that I just recently found out that a lot of these lawsuits were set up to already be filed, and they were flagged and stopped by the FBI, who asked people not to file until they gave them permission, which is why you saw so many lawsuits get filed between September and October of this year when the FBI finally told these people, okay, file, because Combs was being watched.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't
Okay,
know that before because I
FBI.
was like, dang, 120 lawsuits are filed in 1 month. What do these people do? Like start a group, like a support, you know? But no, it's because the FBI was flagged for anybody trying to file on him, because if he had any inkling that someone was onto him for something, the behavior would stop.
Okay, so they were doing surveillance on him.
Right. So according to another 2024 lawsuit filed, another 17-year-old boy was invited to a penthouse hotel room to a party in New York City being thrown by Combs. Once he entered the party, he was offered a drink. Sometime later, he felt dizzy, went to the bathroom in the suite, entered a room where he witnessed a number of people, including Combs and other celebrities, having group sex. He was then forced to join them. June 26th of 2022, What Beautiful America gave Combs a Lifetime Achievement Award.
Oh, whoo, we sure know how to pick them.
Right? Right? That's leave it to America to screw something up. June of 2022, according to another 2024 October filed lawsuit. Um, and after an award show after party, the unnamed victim, who was working as the personal trainer to Combs. So we actually know who this person is if you do the research. But we're not going to dig. We're just going to say an unnamed person. Hollywood Hills area of Los Angeles was forced to sign a non disclosure agreement, forced to take several sips of a mixed drink, began to feel disoriented. Combs claims that Combs then approached him, removed his pants, and then began performing non consensual oral sex.
Wow.
Um, Combs walked away from him, stating, "Hey, man, that was a party favor for you."
Excuse me?
October 28th of 2022, Forbes reported that Combs was a certified billionaire and thanked him nationwide for his services. Yay us. Go America.
Can
December
you
of 20
imagine?
sorry.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but can you imagine as the victim of this person picking up a magazine or opening your phone and
Listen, I'm pretty sure this is how people get assassinated. Like, cause I feel like that's what if somebody assaulted me in a way that changed my entire life and then became or was this huge person out there in the industry and then got named anything positive, oh, yeah, no, assassination, hands down. I would probably assassinate them right there at the award show, like, in front of everybody. Like, we're not gonna make anyone think that I'm not the one that did this. Um, and I'm gonna keep going just for time, guys, because 'cause we're only on December 2022, which, again, an October 2024 lawsuit that was filed. A female who was 29 years old at the time and an independent music artist was invited with other friends to a, Combs' house for a party in New York City. Um, Combs told her, "Hey, I wanna work with you," stating he wanted to elevate her career by featuring her on a track of his, and she should come in the office so they can discuss it really quickly. She states that when she was in the office, she fell unconscious. She woke up the next morning in his office with blood all over her legs from her vaginal area and bruising on her lips, deep imprints on her arms and wrists where you could tell she'd been tied up with ropes.
Oh, Lord Jesus. Okay.
All right. In a February 2024 lawsuit, producer Rodney Lilrod, I don't know why that was important because I don't know who that is, but somebody out there does. He stated that he worked for Combs on his latest release. Combs supposedly forced Join to solicit sex workers, take illegal drugs, and more. This suit names others close to Kate Combs also,
Mhm.
including Justin Dior Combs. Um, I'm not sure who that is. I
Justin
would.
Dior comes. I would assume it's a
Oh,
family member.
it's his son.
Oh, yep.
So this lawsuit names Justin Dior Combs and members of Motown Records and Universal Music as co-defendants. September 15th of 2023, Combs receives a key to the city from New York Mayor Eric Adams.
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
And that was on what day? September 15th last year. November 16th of last year, Cassie comes out and she starts saying, "Hey, I filed a civil suit in New York Supreme Court." Within 24 hours, Combs paid the $30 million under the threat of writing a damaging book about their relationship. He wanted to make sure that Cassie didn't do it, so he paid out the money immediately.
Wow.
One day before the window for filing suits under the Adult Survivors Act is set to close.
Mhm.
This is November 23rd last year. Um, and I remember this. Um, but they were gonna kind of set up this window where people couldn't file after so long for crimes that had happened in the past, and this was just try to create a statute of limitation for civil suits also.
Yeah.
One day before that window for filing suits under the Adult Survivors Act was set to close, two separate lawsuits were filed against him alleging misconduct, which automatically took him off of once somebody files a lawsuit against you until that lawsuit is resolved, anyone can file a lawsuit against you.
Mhm.
So,
That's neat.
yep, so a day before the window filing was closed, two lawsuits were filed against him. And that's what opened it for everybody to still file. Which seems mighty convenient considering the FBI was watching him for a couple of years, since 2022 is what I understand. And the day before anybody can file suits on him, they need to make sure everybody will be able to file their suits. So they had two people file the suits. Well, I say they, but I just assume it was them. Um, November 28th of 2023, Combs temporarily steps down as the chairman of Revolt TV because of the lawsuits.
Yeah.
December 6th of 2023, an unnamed fourth person comes forward accusing Combs and others of gang rape in 2003. December 6th last year, speaking through his attorney, Combs denies any accusation and then wrote on his account on Instagram, "Enough is enough." December 10th of last year, 18 brands, 18 different large companies severed ties with Combs, stating that he was creating unethical business ties with people.
Hmm.
December 11th of 2023, a public petition started by a feminist and survivor advocacy group called the Recording Academy rescinded Combs' 2024 Grammy nomination.
Good for them.
Right, this is apparently December last year is when things really started to change. Um, so December 13th of 2023, Hulu rescinded the reality show project that was featuring Combs and his family. January 12th of this year, The Hollywood Reporter, which is an it's not a Hollywood Reporter, like it wasn't a person. The Hollywood Reporter, the magazine,
Yeah.
um, stated that Combs was no longer invited to the Grammys. January 16, 2024, Diego and Combs resolved their legal lawsuit around marketing of products and officially end their working relationship.
Hmm.
February of this year, the fifth lawsuit was filed against Combs by Rodney Little Rod Jones. March 25th of this year, Holmes and Angie, sorry, hold on, y'all. I'm having one of those moments where my brain is deciding what words are, and what words aren't. And my brain does not like the word Angelus. My brain wants it to be Angeles. So homes in Los Angeles and Miami that are associated with Combs, March 25th of this year, were raided. As part of
That's where
what
they found the baby oil?
I don't know if that's when they found the baby oil. We're gonna get there though. We're gonna figure it out. Okay. All right, and then we go on to May of 2024, and that's when that surveillance video of Cassie came out and everybody
Mhm.
started to see it. So we all kind of know about that, because that was a really big deal, and that's when the whole Diddy thing kind of came out. Um, and then of course, May 19th of 2024, that is when Diddy posted the apology video that has gone viral. Saying that he was disgusted with himself and, now he'll get rehab and, you know, you know,
Find Jesus
narcissist,
and
narcissist, yeah. All the same things that felons tell you in prison. So and I should know. May 22nd of 2024, um, that's when the sixth assault lawsuit was filed against Combs. May 24th of 2024 was the seventh lawsuit. June the 8th, July the 9th, September September, a default judgment was granted to Derek Lee Smith for $100 million after Combs failed to appear in court. Um, and then September 11th this year, a 10th lawsuit was filed. September 16th of this year, this is Sean Combs was arrested by federal agents outside of New York City hotel. In response, Combs' lawyer stated, "We are disappointed with the decision to pursue what we believe is an unjust prosecution of Mr. Combs by the U.S. Attorney's Office." Unjust? Yeah, he's only raped like 30 people.
oh, that we know of.
That this is so unjust.
Mhm.
September 17th of 2024, a federal indictment is unsealed to reveal Combs is being charged with 3 counts: racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, and interstate transportation for prostitution. The indictment alleges that the mogul used his music and business empire as a criminal outfit to indulge in furtherance of illegal sexual activity. Combs pleads not guilty on all counts, but then he is denied bail, which I could not agree with more. Um, Now the attorney Mark is arguing that Combs is no risk to the public. He's surrendered his passport. He's agreed to be placed on house arrest. He would post a $50 million bond and has agreed to weekly drug tests. Prosecutors, on the other hand, are like, nope, Combs is not only a flight risk, but he's untrustworthy and clearly a danger to the public.
Clearly. Yeah.
Um, so September 24th of 2024, a 12th assault victim has filed suit against Combs. And then on October 14th, 6 new lawsuits were filed against Combs for sexual assault. October 20th, 7 new suits were filed against him.
Wow.
And that's when it started to come out that some of the victims' ages were as young as 13. October 28th, 2024, which is like a week and a half ago, guys, 2 more suits were filed against him. And that is kind of where we sit. However, I was up late last night reading, which I just learned how to do, guys. But I was reading about there are multiple people who are demanding that they and this is just speculation, and I just want to throw this out there because there might be updates later. There are multiple people demanding that the body of Kim Porter, Diddy's ex-wife, who passed away,
Ooh.
that her body be resumed
Resumed
and
or
retested.
exhumed?
It's called resumed, right?
No, it's not exhumed either. I think it's exhumed.
So yes, maybe it is exhumed. They're asking that they take her body back out the ground and retest
Exhume
her.
her and retomb her. Yes.
Because she died pretty young.
Hmm.
Of and I think I actually have a picture of her too. That was one of his white parties.
Look
That was one
him.
of his white par Look at all these celebrities we know, guys.
Yep.
Kim Porter. And she passed in 2018.
Okay.
Um, and they say that she passed from pneumonia.
Hmm.
And there's a lot of people saying, hey, there's our circles again, guys. There are a lot of people saying, like, hey, won't the same things that look like they cause pneumonia also be like, remnants of ecstasy?
I don't know what it. I don't know anything about besides what it is. I don't know anything about ecstasy really. So
So ecstasy will do things to your body, like create like you chewing on your jaw a lot.
yeah.
I don't know if people can hear that or not. If not, I just look like a weirdo. But and it will make your heart race. It'll also make your chest tight, like as you're coming off of hardcore drugs. And I don't really know this, guys. I'm not really sure, but people say it makes your chest tight and it'll make you feel like if you don't go to sleep, like the come down from it will make you
Mhm.
feel really, really ill. Um, and so all I can think as a person is it's kind of like an Adderall crash. Like you're really tired and you just feel blah until you go to bed.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, there's a lot of people demanding that her body be
Exhumed.
exhumed and that a new autopsy be done by someone that Combs can't pay off.
Hmm.
So
So I'm guessing there was no original autopsy because if she was, if it said pneumonia, usually if it's like natural causes or something like that, like she dies at the hospital, there's no autopsy done.
yeah, she
There's
died
not
at
a
home.
she died at home. Yeah.
But I mean, if you
I don't
have that
know.
kind of money, you could probably make sure an autopsy's not done too.
Yeah. No, I mean, I have a couple questions and they're not for you. They're just in general. I want to know what prompted the FBI investigation in the first place. Like
I
who went
think
there?
honestly, I think that it was prompted by so kind of like on SVU. And this is just my opinion. I don't know the show. I'm just kind of making this up. But you know how like SVU, something will happen and someone will name someone and then like they'll find out, oh wait, well, this person's saying they were raped too. So that's two people in two different states. We have to get the FBI involved.
Okay, so you think it was that?
I think that it's a situation like that or like an underage person
Mhm.
because I mean an underage person making that kind of claim against someone rich, the FBI would logically want to be involved.
Yeah.
Now, there are a lot of suspicious things that have happened around the Diddy thing. I know there's a lot of rumors about the fact that Ashton Kutcher and his wife took off and left the US. Um,
Mm.
and I don't even know what to say because Ashton Kutcher was one of the few people that I felt as a person in America that was, I mean, he was out
Decent?
there fighting for sex trafficking to save those children.
Yeah.
And so if he's a part of this, then I hope he gets what he deserves. If he's not, then I apologize. I said that, Ashton. Um, and like he'll ever see this video. Um, but but that's just the reality of it. There's so many people that are tagged behind these things. And if you were one of those people at one of Diddy's parties and did something like that, then I truly, truly, truly hope you get the karma you deserve.
Yeah.
With every bone in my body, I mean that.
I think with the FBI it was either what you said, which is probable to be honest, um or somebody got caught doing something that they weren't supposed to be doing, and they flipped on Diddy.
Which honestly wouldn't surprise me. I mean, there's 100 people it could be. This man spent his entire day paying people off.
Yeah. But it's just that was my first question. Like, how did the FBI get involved in this? My second question is, who were all these other celebrities? Because Diddy was not the only one. Like in most of these cases that you mentioned, there's other celebrities involved in the essays. So who are they? Because I'm sure that it's not just happened that one time. I'm sure it's happened to other people.
And if you notice, a lot of people that used to support Diddy are not even claiming them as his friend right now because
He's like the plague. Like you got to stay away
right,
from
he's
him.
well, because I mean, then if you associate with him, that means your name might come up next, right? Because they haven't named the celebrities publicly yet. But I know those celebrities are named in those suits. So don't worry, y'all. I'll keep working on getting us copies of those lawsuits so that we can know these other celebrities' names. And we'll just start dropping them like flies. Check the page. We'll see what happens. Because honestly, all I can think is if we know everybody, we can attack everybody. But until we know who we're talking about, we don't want to just throw people out there. I don't want to ruin anyone's reputation. But if your name came up in one of those suits, I have no problem at all. Go ahead and naming that for you. We will see y'all next week.
In lieu of
Yep.
murder, it's love with a twist. Dating disasters you can't resist. From first dates to court dates, we've got it all. So grab a seat and join the fun. In lieu of murder, we're number one.